Good evening and welcome to Tigers Roar. The LSU football Tigers are on the field, as you just saw, beginning preparations for the upcoming season. Coach Ed Orgeron blowing the heck out of the whistle. Hello, August. Hello, football. Hello, Jordy Hultberg. How are you?
Hello, Tommy Krysan. Those guys didn't stumble and fumble and bumble. They look good.
Yeah, I wonder if that was one take. You know, they showed
I hope so.
You know, LSU's just releasing a little bit of video this year. We know that story. But I knew the fans, a good way to open up was to see the Tigers running out on the practice field, because that's what everybody's wanting to do. And a handful of days into practice. And, of course, on Wednesday morning, Maya Tahuma, 2-year starter, suspended indefinitely, academic issues for a position that had a question mark going into fall camp. That question mark's magnified.
Player has to take care of his own responsibilities. Obviously, he didn't. And when you're an athlete at LSU and you have all the support in the world, graduate assistants, making sure you go to class, the tutorial staff that makes sure that they can help you with all your assignments, how that happens at a player that has been through the ranks as much as he has, I would be shocked if he ends up coming back and playing for LSU. I really would.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was in a conversation earlier today, man. How, with all the things you mentioned, how does this happen? That's just somebody not taking care of business, as you said. And the burden falls on the student athlete.
No question.
Right?
No question.
And here's the other thing, and I'm sure they had this when you were there. The other thing, backing that up, when you go to schedule stuff, there's a list like, don't take Professor Krysan. Not a big fan of football players or basketball, whatever we're talking about. So it's inexcusable, to say the least. It affects the whole team. But as any coach will tell you, they're going to want to talk about who's there and who's not. But not having Tahuma, only 11 guys on offensive line, only 11 offensive linemen on scholarship now, that's a low number.
The best ability is availability. And he has let this team down. And how can you trust a player like that to do this now? How can you trust him on 4th and 1 up in Tuscaloosa? I don't understand it. And if people think that he's the only one that has had academic issues, this kind of stuff doesn't sneak up on you. You know about this stuff. That's why he's taking intercession classes. So you put all in the hopper, and it's just a lot of messing up on a lot of fronts, but the onus is on the player himself. His brother left school. He had some troubles at LSU. Again, I would be very, very surprised if he ever plays again at LSU.
Well,
Hope I'm wrong.
Back with who's there, Danny Etlin has come out and said he expects to be 100%. September 2 when they play Brigham Young. We now know that he struggled with some discomfort during the season, during spring practice. Then we had the minor back procedure. And some of his teammates, this is what I like about it. Whatever Etlin says is fine, but when the teammates say he's looking a little better, that's the eyeball test. They're out there. They know. They're catching the passes. They're in the huddle with him. If he's looking better, sounding better, feeling better, that's good news for LSU.
No question. If the kid's out there smiling, then he's comfort. He's got comfort. He's injury free, and that's great news. We heard about Ja'Cory Stevens being shifted from safety to wide receiver. I don't know if that's an indictment on the wide receiver group or if that's a wealth of riches in the secondary where they can. I've always believed a great coach is one that can recognize talent and finds a way to get that talent on the field rather than have him sit holding a clipboard or whatever. So if this kid obviously is that talented, maybe he can make an impact right away as a receiver.
And I'll bet, they knew Tahuma was having problems. Coach Orgeron hinted about that earlier in the week. I'll bet they're looking through all these defensive linemen like, who might have played offense in high school like they did with Stevens, who played both up in Tennessee when he was in high school. He might have a little somebody slide over on the offensive side, which is not uncommon,
right?
And especially if you all of a sudden have a little bit of a bigger question mark.
Well, this is going to be like a chessboard now. Jeff Grimes is going to be moving this guy here and just seeing, and that opens up the door for the behemoth Austin Deculus, who's a 5-star recruit, who's a big kid. Maybe he moves to right tackle and they put shift people around, but that's the job. They got to find the 5 best players and get them ready and get them cohesive as quickly as possible.
Danny Etlin and that guy named Darius Geist, they got to have a line in front of them. They will be not effective if the line is not good in front of them.
Matt Canada can run receivers left and right and backwards and forwards and all, but if those guys, like you said, if they don't do their job up front, that's all a moot point.
And a good announcement that came out of LSU, a little twist on the tradition of number 18. Not one, but two players will wear number 18 this year. You can do that according to NCAA rules as long as they're both not on the field at the same time. J.D. Moore, Christian Locketor, double dipping on number 18. Quite the honor bestowed upon these two guys.
I talked to the gentleman who initiated that in Matt Malk after they won the national championship in the Superdome in January of 2004. He was sitting with Greg Stringfellow, the equipment manager, Jack Marucci, the head athletic trainer, and Michael Bonnet, the head of sports information. And he was jokingly telling Greg Stringfellow, man, don't give my number 18 to just anybody. Let's make sure it's somebody. And they gave it to Jacob Hester, who wore it for 4 straight seasons. And the story how this thing really became impactful, the Philadelphia Eagles were playing an exhibition game. And they had the general manager of the Eagles up in the booth. And they were talking about players, and it came to Benny Logan. And they drafted Benny Logan in the 3rd round, number 67 overall. And the general manager said, we drafted him there because we understand what that number 18 jersey at LSU means. Not only you're a good player, but more importantly, you're a great teammate, you've got character, you've got leadership skills. And that's when it blew up. And so now you've got 2. And I asked Matt Malk, I had him on my radio show, I said, what do you think about 2? He goes, well, that's fine, but I hope next year they go back to 1.
We had some comments from Coach Ed Orgeron on this evolving tradition. This team has a number of guys who would be perfect fit to wear number 18 for the Tigers. I'm very proud that both Christian Locketor and J.D. Moore will get a chance to do that. The leadership they have shown makes them both a great choice. That's right from the head man.
Congratulations, both of them, and I'm sure they will be very viable players for the team and great leaders. That's what it's all about.
Go back to 1 and definitely don't do 3.
And now there's that number 7 also. That's trying to gain some steam, and that was Peterson, and now it's DJ Shark, and so
you got number 8 in baseball.
8 in baseball.
So and things like that, when they are genuine, they're not contrived, they just evolve. I think it's a good thing.
I do too.
It's something that's a pride in the locker room.
We tried to do that in basketball with number 20, but it didn't work too well.
They all should be wearing number 20, huh? If they could shoot like you, then they could wear number 20. Let's tell you what's coming up on this week's edition of Tigers Roar. We're going to be joined by Ken Trahan of CrescentCitySports.com. If you like SportsNola.com, you're going to love CrescentCitySports.com, and we'll visit with Ken Trahan a little bit later in the program, and Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com with the very latest on LSU recruiting. They extended some offers today to some target guys and whatnot, so that recruiting stuff, we've always said it never ends. It's all about recruiting, and I think each year there are more days in the 365-day calendar that get filled up with recruiting talk than in the past.
What I didn't realize that the other day they could officially mail you a full scholarship offer, and they put it on paper, it's like thick cardstock, and it's all laminated, and it's all kinds of great stuff. Got the player's picture on it, and I didn't know that existed. I had no idea, but that's what they did. So we'll see.
Modern technology.
It's amazing.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to tell you about Tremonti's Meat and Seafood and a huge sale they got coming up shortly. We'll do all of that when we return. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Kreis, and you are watching Tigers Roar. Spread the roar. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans. On the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. Up on YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting, where you can watch this at your convenience. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including Optimap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment. 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com.
All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
DLA Painting Incorporated is your company for professional painting, serving the greater Baton Rouge area and South Louisiana for over 20 years. Ready to paint for those recovering from flood, residential repaint, commercial painting, any size job, free estimates. Customer satisfaction is our highest priority. Call 225-505-8785. DLA Painting Incorporated, fully insured. Call Dennis at DLA Painting at 225-505-8785.
Desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves company. Cold and hungry like a dog in the street. I get a raw deal every.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, a CLK multifamily management property. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com.
We continue with Tigers Roar. I want to remind you, the original airing of this program each and every week is Wednesday night at 8 p.m. There are numerous replays, including the E-Tel cable system, and as I mentioned, the YouTube channel as well. I want to tell you about Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, and August 19th is a date you want to remember. Jordy, tell them why.
It is their semi-annual one-day meat sale, and this is an opportunity for you to get their Chairman's Reserve beef and all the other products that they have in their facility at prices that will just blow you away. It's an opportunity to buy everything you need for tailgating. If you're big into ribs, big into steaks, big into burgers, this is the time. Save the date, August the 19th. They'll have everything at bargain basement prices that you'll never see again. They have it twice a year, but this is a great, great opportunity. Go to Tremontis.com for all the information. That's Tremontis.com. Their number, 225-751-7665. That's Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market at 12451 Old Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge.
All
it's
right.
worth the trip. From Lafayette, from New Orleans, it's worth it. They got great stuff at great prices.
Jordy, football game about a month away. You
Yep.
might have a replay going a little less than a month. LSU, 13.5, 14-point favorite off a BYU team that went 1-3 last year out the gate. Won 8 of their last 9, including a bowl game win over Wyoming. And their second-year coach, Kalani Sitake, they're an independent. They're not in a conference. They're going to play a game the week before LSU.
Can I tell you about?
They host Portland State on August 26th. I'm surprised that LSU's a 13.5, 14-point favorite.
Can I tell you, when I had a BYU person that covers them on, I said, all right, when you mention LSU, you think of 2 players. You think of Darius Geis on offense. You think of Arden Key on defense. Give me a similar fashion for BYU. He named a middle linebacker and the starting center.
Okay.
Case closed.
Case closed. You think that's why it's 13
Case
and a half
closed.
or 14. A lot of ground to cover. LSU, as they continue through fall camp, going to be a little bit different. You're going to have the 4 preseason games, if you will, the scrimmages, exhibition. He's trying to bring an NFL mentality to it. we talked about the offensive line. We talked a little bit about Etling. We talked about the wide receivers with Jacoby Stevens switching over from safety. Jordy, defense has a lot of shoes to fill, a lot of holes, a lot of guys who played a lot of snaps are not there anymore. I don't doubt that there's talent in LSU uniforms. They're not household names yet, but the defense, we can't focus so much on the offense that we don't make sure the defense doesn't shore up.
No question. Dave Aranda's got another job. It's like he's starting all over again because now he's got to replace, I mean, Tre'Davious White, Jamal Adams, Kendall Beckwith, Duke Riley, just to name a few. So other players waiting to win, and that's what makes college football so interesting because as you look at the quarterbacks now, there's Miles Brennan, number 15, trying to find a backup to Danny Etling. And it'll be very interesting to see what exactly occurs there. I know they'd love to redshirt at least one of those freshman quarterback, but if somebody steps up and becomes that much better, then you've got to get them in there, and you've got to lift that red shirt and let them play. So wide receivers, another position, but again, defensively, a lot of newcomers will be in there, but that's why they recruit as well as they do. It's time for those guys, as Ed said, they got to step up, plain and simple.
Good to see Coach Orgeron kind of hands-on there in some of these video clips that we have, and we appreciate the clips from LSU. He's going to be hands-on. I mean, he's the guy. He's the first-year coach. And you're right. They got to establish that backup quarterback. Just that brief clip I saw of Miles Brennan, I can tell he put the weight on. They talked about 18 to 20 pounds, 22 pounds. I could see that in that brief clip.
Can I address this situation with Ed Orgeron deciding that he's going to close practices and not let media? I have no complaint or any problem with that. He's got a young team with a lot of people that will be playing for the first time that now are getting more reps than they've ever gotten before. When there's media people there and there's cameras there, you tend to look over your shoulder and see who's watching you. It's human nature. These guys need to focus in on the little minor details like how to step, when to step, what step to take first, all those little things that make you better players. The media and the fans will see everything come September 2nd. There'll be no hiding then. So I have no problem with it at all.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's his choice. He's the head coach.
Yeah.
And the true test begins September 2 against Brigham Young. And if everything's fine and dandy when that curtain comes back, nobody's going to remember whether practice was open or closed. I do have a bit, I can see the other side, the people who want to get information to the fans. But the problem is there's certain information they don't want out. So that's why you have to close the doors. They can't trust everybody. And don't think BYU is not scanning the social media world to see if all of a sudden somebody put out that player A pulled a hamstring, going to be out for a while. They make note of that. Just like LSU's checking out BYU and Mississippi State, Chattanooga, whatever. So I get it. I don't have a problem with it. I'm typically on the air when they practice anyway.
That's right.
I know Buddy would like to go to practice, used to go to practice, and sometimes he'd follow a live report with us on the air, and I know the fans enjoyed that. But if that's not what Ed Orgeron wants, I don't have a big problem with it. And
how much did you gain from going out and seeing 5 minutes? But to Ed Orgeron's credit, you ask him a question, he answers it. Arden Key's not ready yet. We suspended Maya Tehama. It's academic issues. Les Miles never would have done that. Wouldn't have ever given you the reason.
Right.
He's just not here.
Well, and then the other thing, from a personal standpoint, and we both play college athletics, watching practice doesn't do much for me. I don't know if it's because it's been there, done that, but I don't need to see practice. The proof in the pudding will start on September 2 over in Houston.
One of LSU's most accomplished quarterbacks was the worst practice player in the world. But when the lights came on, Rohan Davey was pretty good. Good.
Rohan did an outstanding
pretty good
job.
When it came to practice, he couldn't throw it through a wet paper bag.
I remember when he was down there in South Florida, just above Miami, I want to say, Hialeah Lakes or something. I remember hearing his name, and I think one of the coaches went down there to watch him play a basketball game. He was a pretty good basketball player.
If you can play basketball, you're a great athlete.
And I remember hearing, and LSU got him, and you're right. I heard those same stories. Man, that guy can't throw the ball. He can't hit anything at practice.
It's amazing he
when
got
those
in the
lights
games.
went on a Saturday, but 500-plus yards against Bama, that says a lot right there. They'd like to have half of that right now.
Well-
But Rohan Davey did a super job, no question about that. Still in the Baton Rouge community. He's a great guy. Had lunch with him this summer. A group of us were all together, and very, very much enjoyed being around Rohan.
Best story I ever heard was Wilt Chamberlain.
Tell it.
They'd have a shoot around, and Wilt would be on the side, sitting on the scorer's table, smoking a cigarette and drinking a Sprite. And the coach, Alex Hannon, would come up and say, "Wilt, what are you doing?" He said, "Coach, you can get me once a day. You want me to practice, or you want me to be ready for the game?" That was it. And Wilt would go get 50 points, 50 rebounds. So
I remember Ken Stabler telling me the story when he played for John Madden, that John Madden said, be on time Sunday, bust your butt, and let's win the game. Madden didn't really care what they did Monday through
That's right.
Saturday, okay?
That's right.
That wasn't his focus.
He's a Hall of Fame
That wasn't
coach,
what he was
isn't he?
all about. He was more about, as long as it works on Sunday, I don't care. Now, I guess if it had not worked on Sunday, he'd have paid more attention to the other days. Now, that's the professional level. That's a little bit different. But LSU football, the fans are still going to get some information. They're going to drip some out, and then every now and then.
Is he going to let the Gridiron Club go to the scrimmages like every coach before has? Or
I don't know if that, and I know at one time former players could go into practice. If you were a letterman, even way back in the day, you lettered, you were welcome at practice. I haven't seen anything about that. I don't know the answer to that.
So I guess the only scrimmage we need to be concerned about is the third one. Because if it's like the NFL, right, that's when the first teamers will play. And the last scrimmage, might as well forget about it, because who's going to go watch that?
Well, they're not going to let anybody. Well,
I understand.
we'll see. But I follow your point. And the New Orleans Saints, heck, they got a game next week.
I love it.
Saints
We got an
play
NFL game, Cowboys
Thursday
and the Cardinals
this week, huh?
Thursday. Yeah.
Hall of Fame game, huh?
No Zeke Elliott, no Tyrann Mathieu. Not going to play anybody.
No, probably not.
gonna play tonight. But still.
Anyway, the Saints do play next week. Well, let's take a look at the Saints preseason schedule since we mentioned it. They're in Cleveland to take on the Browns on next Thursday, the 10th. Then they got to make a trip to the Los Angeles Chargers. How about that? We got to quit saying San Diego Chargers. We got to go L.A. Chargers. And then they come home for a couple of games in the Superdome in New Orleans. The Houston Texans, who they'll have some joint practices with, and then the Baltimore Ravens, and then they'll open up on Monday night. But there's your Saints preseason schedule.
I got a little trivia for you. Ready for this one?
I'm going to try.
This is Wednesday. All right, so this is August the 2nd. Go back to the year 1967. It was a great day in the city of New Orleans.
It was the day that they announced there would be, no?
It was the Saints played their first preseason game as an NFL franchise on this day, 1967. They played the L.A. Rams. They got beat 16-7. But then they won.
In Tulane Stadium?
Yep. Then they won 5 straight, and everybody was like, "Oh, these Saints are they're going to win the championship. They're 5-1." Then they went back and played the L.A. Rams in the season opener. John Gilliam returns the kickoff, opening kickoff. I was there. Tulane State was going nuts, packed with 80,000 people. Like, this is the greatest team ever. And then we went through the desert like Moses.
Hey, we'll take a break, come back with a lot more. Want to remind you, spread the roar. Tell folks, original airing every week on a Wednesday. Rolling into year number 11 of this program on this station. Every Wednesday with the replays on Pelican, the replays on the ETEL cable system in Ascension Parish, parts of Livingston Parish, and soon to be greater area for ETEL cable, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. So do spread the roar. Tell some people about it. We're going to talk primarily about LSU. We'll throw in some Saints, some ULL, some Tulane, Nicholls State, Southeastern, whatever we got to do. Jordy Helpberg, Tommy Chrysan. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows is honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
My name is Dr. Nicole Rogers, and I'm here in Old Metairie, Louisiana at Hair Restoration of the South, where your hair is our care. And I'd like to invite you to come and visit and discuss various options for treatment of thinning hair. These can include both medical and surgical options. You don't have to go straight to surgery. In the meantime, feel free to check out our website, hairrestorationofthesouth.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
Saints are coming off of 3 straight 7-9 campaigns, no playoffs. NFC South, Atlanta's very good. Tampa, Carolina, kind of like the Saints, trying to figure it out. And as we like to do here on Tigers Roll, I want to give you a little bit of New Orleans Saints. We got a clip of Willie Snead in his contract year at wide receiver, and then Drew Brees talking about the Saints wide receivers. We know Brees is a Hall of Famer, but he's got to have somebody to throw it to.
Brandon Coleman, that's the man.
Brandon Coleman getting a lot of attention. Here's some comments from those Saints players from Saints camp in Metairie.
I just try to come out here every day with the same mentality I had when I first got here. Hopefully I'll be rewarded before the season. It might be after the season, but I know right now I'm focusing on winning games and trying to help my team, at the end of the day, get to the postseason and make a run at the Super Bowl, because that's all that's important to me. I love football. This is what I love to do. And, just because I'm in a situation where I can get paid doesn't mean that, necessarily I want to get paid right now. I might have to wait. I might have to prove myself again, because, the last 2 years I wasn't the guy. I just happened to make the plays when the plays came to me. So, I feel like this year is going to be a big year for me, just to separate myself and show people that I am worth a big pay raise, or, whatever the case may be. So, it's a challenge I'm willing to accept, and I'll just take it as motivation.
When you look at the receiving corps as a whole, it almost looks like an embarrassment of riches in a way. Do y'all kind of feel that way when you look at all the depth? It's like, look at all these weapons.
We got a lot of great guys. We got Ted Ginn, the OG. He leads the way for us. He's been in the league for 11 years. We got Michael Thomas. He's the go-getter. He's the physical guy. We got Brandon Coleman that's starting to come into his art. He's starting to play with a lot more confidence. We got Fuller that goes over the top, makes great plays. We got a lot of young guys that are still getting the reps. And I feel like, as we get, more into the training camp and into the preseason, we start to cut it down to the guys that we need. CJ is going to get us right. And ever since CJ's walked in the room, we just felt the presence in a new era about us that we need to go get it. We need to set the tone of offense.
I have Corey Fuller and Brandon Coleman when y'all watch NFL. So like Coleman, not just possession receivers making big plays.
Listen, he's Brandon. There's really not a guy who I have more trust in than Brandon Coleman. Honestly, I played with him now for a long time, and I feel like he's a guy who can play play every position. He can play X, he can play Z, he can play inside. So his versatility in this offense is really good. He's a very smart player, and he's been a guy who's just done whatever we need him to do over the last few years. You know, obviously with Brandon Cooks being a featured guy, and with Mike Thomas coming on last year, and with Willie getting his touches, and Brandon's just kind of had to get in where he can fit in. And yet there have been those moments where he's come up with some big plays, some big catches, some big third down conversions. A go route, a vertical. He's a big target that, again, I have a lot of trust in, and I think we've had enough time on task together now, from training camp to just time that we spend on our own together, where there's a great amount of confidence I have in him.
That I guess means Corey Fuller has his work cut out if he's going to try to get into that group of.
Yeah, I mean, so then to talk about Corey, I've had more time with Brandon. I've had, this is going on 4 years with Brandon. But just in the short amount of time with Corey's a veteran guy, and so he came from Detroit where he played a lot. It really kind of took the place of Calvin Johnson when Calvin Johnson was hurt for that stretch there over the last few years. So, Corey's played in a good system with a really good quarterback in Matthew Stafford, and so coming here, I feel like he's got some knowledge and just some savvy to him, from having played the game and having some experience under his belt. And I think he fits into our system well. I think there's a lot of things that we can do with our system and him that that put him in positions to work to his strengths. So again, I think he's a guy who can be very productive as well.
What allowed Michael Thomas to skip past the time on task and immediately develop that rapport?
No, I mean, listen, it took time with Mike too. I mean, I'd say kind of the next level went with Mike somewhere, mid-season. It wasn't just an instantaneous thing, and I think we slowly began to incorporate him more into the offense. And I don't know, I think there is, for any young receiver, you come in, and yes, there's raw talent, but then there's just the fundamentals of playing the position, at this level. You can't just rely on talent. You got to have discipline. You've got to have your releases versus bump and run. The way you set up routes. The nuances to our system and the concepts within our system. It just takes time to kind of understand those and then be confident with them. So I think in the beginning you're thinking a lot, you're processing a lot as you're playing. And it doesn't really allow you to maybe play as fast as you normally would. But now you're at a point where, man, you know the looks, the adjustments, and you can play faster.
When we come back, we're going to visit with Ken Trahan of CrescentCitySports.com. We'll tell you what that's all about. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Krysan, back with more of Tigers Roar after this pause. Stay with us.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential. There's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline. If you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death, you must call now.
Call 800-779-1032, 800-779-1032.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
We continue with Tigers Roar with Jordy Hultberg. I'm Tommy Chrysan, and right now we head down to New Orleans. We're going to visit with Ken Trahan of
Legendary.
CrescentCitySports.com. Ken, good evening. How you doing?
Hey, guys. It's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
And hey, I know you've been a busy guy. We met a couple of weeks ago, and this week it's official. It's all launched. CrescentCitySports.com. Tell the folks all about it.
Well, listen, it's been almost 10 years running. We've been very fortunate. We started as NewOrleans.com Sports, evolved to SportsNolan.com, and we've moved on now to something we think is more substantive and obviously is pertinent. And it's the right time with football season having arrived with CrescentCitySports.com. It's indigenous to the culture. You guys are both native New Orleanians. You understand it. Frankly, the NOLA thing's getting a little bit old, and I don't say that to be critical, but it's kind of tired and a bit overused, and we felt it was going to be time for a change anyway. But here we are. We've done it. We've launched. We had thousands of people within a matter of 5 hours the first day, and here we are, and it's going great as we speak. So, look, I have tremendous contributors, Tommy included in that, and we have some outstanding journalists who have prided themselves on trying to get it right over the years, and that's what we've done. We formed it on integrity and on being a journalistic website rather than a blog site or a sensationalist site. No, you're not going to find anybody calling Jordy Hultberg a hot dog on this site, okay? That's never going to happen.
I was going to say, you must have paid attention in school at Rummel, man. I mean, indigenous and articulate. My goodness, I've never heard of a Rummel Raider use a word like that.
It's unbelievable, man. I used to laugh all the time. It was Tony Bolio that really got the hot dog label.
That's right.
You know, and you really just kind of carried it on, although it was undeserved. And then Pierre Godin, he was just kind of quiet. So we didn't give him much trouble whatsoever. But hey, you're an easy target, but you're a hell of a basketball player, man.
I know. Thanks a lot, Ken. I appreciate that.
Ken, let's point out, this is everything from prep to pro throughout Louisiana. Mention the high school scoreboard and your deep passion for high school sports, which has been around forever.
Well, listen, I've been doing this for 4 decades now in my hometown, so that's been a real blessing. Feel really fortunate to have been able to do this. And obviously, when you get that opportunity, you want to take full advantage of it. So if you want to get recognized, it's not about I and me. It's about surrounding yourself with good people and then allowing them to do their jobs, which is precisely the model that we've been able to follow and why we've had the success we've had. Having Lenny Van Gilder and Jude Young on board on a full-time basis, they really helped make this work in significant fashion. And having terrific contributors like Ed Daniels and Rick Gailey and Renee Nato and Les East and Tommy Chrysan and Jeff Orchak and Gene Pani, and I could go on and on. It's a great list of outstanding professionals that I have tremendous respect for. So when I was able to get this started, I had some people targeted, and the fact that we were able to attract these kind of people to it just made it all worthwhile.
Good for you. That's great.
And Ken, as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Alan and Bert, the owners of the Pelican, we're proud to be a part of it and do our part to help get the word out and make people aware of Crescent City Sports and everything from prep to pro and the outstanding prep scoreboard, which covers all classifications across the state of Louisiana, beginning on September 1.
Yeah, listen, we're proud to have Pelican on board. It's great to have you guys as part of what we do in all facets. First of all, Tommy, writing on the site. Secondly, our partnership through our radio show statewide on Pelican Sports through WUBR. And then, of course, just all of the things that we're able to do over an extended period of time. Anytime you can partner with outstanding entities, jump all over it. You'll make yourself better in the process. That's what we've done here.
Did you ever think in your life that you would see high school football or high school sports be classified as select and non-select? Did you ever imagine that?
No, it stinks.
Yeah.
I could use a stronger word, but my mama told me not to do that, so I'm not going to.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I think it's a joke. I despise it. I understand the concerns, and there are legitimate concerns, but this wasn't the solution. I mean, it really does smack of going back to segregation. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And I mean, we're telling kids, and if you ask the kids, let's for instance in Baton Rouge, if you ask the kids in Woodlawn if they'd like to compete with a kid at Catholic on a consistent basis, I'm quite sure the answer would be yes. But nobody asks the kids.
Yeah.
It's adults making these decisions, and principals, for that matter, that are really the ones that are doing this, who, as time has gone on, have become less and less understanding and comprehending what athletics are all about. And it really destroys the nature of the championships, first of all, in all of the major sports now, and stay tuned, it could be more soon.
Yes.
But I think by and large, it cheapens the effect. The playoff systems are ridiculous. People are playing championships in mornings. In baseball, they're playing in the morning during the week. Same thing with football, basketball. It's ridiculous. People can't even get to the games because they're trying to accommodate all these championships at one time. 12 in basketball for boys and girls.
Crazy.
9 in football, which is preposterous. And, again, when you look at what's happened, it's terribly unfortunate. I thoroughly enjoyed the competition among public and privates. Great friends on both sides of the fence. I went to a private school. You guys did as well. And I don't take this position because of that. I take this position because I just think it's bad for athletics in Louisiana, period. Listen, if you were in Pennsylvania, if you were in Ohio, if you were in Florida, California, and the like, a split could work because of the vast number of schools and the population that they have. This is Louisiana. You got less than 300 schools playing football and fewer than that in the other sports, which to me just makes it ludicrous. That's why you end up with 10-team brackets, 9-team brackets, 12-team brackets. It's ridiculous. And teams that, frankly, deserve better rather than having to play each other all over again.
In college football, 6 wins get you in a bowl game. I see teams with 3 wins getting into the high school football playoffs. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It is. You had teams with no wins getting in and 1 win getting in. You had 1 or 2 that declined to participate. It was that bad. So I think that tells you where we're at. You get some blowouts and some awful games in the early round games. And as I mentioned, when you get to second and third rounds, you got rematches all over the place on the private school side. And it's just patently unfair to the kids. I mean, it's terribly unfortunate. And, to me, it just cheats the process. And like I said before, nobody's thinking about the kids. They're just thinking about themselves and their petty differences. And rather than finding ways to work together, they just say, we're going to take our ball and go home and just do our thing with our people, and that's it.
Ken Trahan, CrescentCitySports.com. We encourage folks to go find it right away. Connect on Facebook, social media, CrescentCitySports.com. Ken, thanks so much for your time.
Take care, buddy.
My pleasure. Pleasure to be with both of you. Thank you, guys.
Romo Raiders, baby. There you go.
All right, Ken Trahan.
Can you hear the passion in high school football?
Oh, yeah.
He loves that stuff.
Yeah. I utmost respect for him.
Good guy.
Known him for a long time when he was announcing UNO baseball on the radio, and I was trying to pitch it for Southeastern. That's how far back we go. And, of course, he covered you in your prep career down at De La Salle as well. We'll take a break. When we come back, Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com, the latest on LSU recruiting. It's always all about recruiting. Jordy Helper, Tommy Christ, and Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV. Stay with us.
You studied hard, went to college, and achieved your dream, but it turned into a financial nightmare. If you have federal student loans and you'd like to reduce your payments, get more time, or have your loans completely eliminated, then we have good news. With one call to Student Loan Relief Services, you can find support and guidance. We've already helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans, you can qualify for payment extensions, payment reductions, or you may qualify to have your federal student loan completely forgiven. Call Student Loan Relief Services now to find out about your options. Take control of your finances and get out from under this burden. One of our student loan experts has the answers to your questions and great solutions to ease your financial burden. We're here for you. Call Student Loan Relief Services now.
Call 800-718-3516. 800-718-3516.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair. Come to my summer blowout sale starting June 15th. Half off sale items. Everything must go. Hope to see you there.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal and she makes your dreams come true.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
We continue with Tigers Roar. Hello, August. Hello, football. Recruiting is always hello. And right now, we're joined by Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com. Mike, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing good. Glad to be with you guys.
How is it going for LSU recruiting? I'm curious.
Well, I think it's okay, but you would look when you talk about before the dead period started on the 1st, and you talk about guys dropping in and they're wanting unofficial visitors before the dead period starts, and it's wide receiver, DB, running back. You would like for there to be some linemen mixed in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so a continuation of that is the news this morning, which we've been talking about, rumored for the last 48 hours about Maya Tahuma. It's I'm kind of like, man, how do you, with as thin as the offensive line was with Tahuma being figured in the mix, I don't know how if you had Orgeron, you even think about scrimmaging those guys. Not only do you have a limited number of bodies, what do you have, like 11 on the roster?
11 scholarship linemen, yes.
Yeah. Man, I want those guys wearing knee braces walking to their cars.
I'm with you.
I mean, have we ever had the red shirt on linemen?
I'm with you.
I want guys walking around Baton Rouge at the grocery store with green jerseys on.
Bubble wrap, baby. Bubble wrap.
Yes.
Wow. That was a question going in the camp, Mike. Now it's a bigger question.
Let me ask you this, Mike. Is Austin Deculus ready, willing, and able in your mind to step in? He's a big kid. He's got a body for it. Does he have the footwork and the characteristics?
That was a huge advantage for him to be there in the spring, no doubt. Do I think he can play and play as well as Maya Tahuma did as a true freshman? I think it's possible.
Okay. Tahuma was a freshman All-American.
You'd really be helped if you can also say the same thing in 2 or 3 weeks where, if Orgeron's able to come out after a scrimmage or two and say, boy, Ed Ingram or Sadiq Charles have been lights out, and we're excited about, we think those guys can play for us this year. Then you start to cobble it together, but you just cannot have a Weathersby or a Clapp
go down
or a KJ Malone get nicked up.
Yeah.
Man.
You bring up a great point. I mean, that idea of 4 quote-unquote preseason games, that may go by the boards.
Yeah, man. And what's, look, I was absolutely amazed last year defensively with the injuries that Aranda had to work with, everybody that was missing in the bowl game, and shutting out the Heisman Trophy winner. And a lot of people have that same thought process as to what Canada is going to be able to do with the offense. Like, and we've been doing an all-day chat today, and I'm like, there's been kind of like a mythology that's been built around Matt Canada, and I'm like, look, guys, I mean, I think he was a great hire, and you like the things that you're hearing they're going to do, but he does need players.
That's right. That's right.
You can't be, we don't need no stinking offensive linemen. I mean, you need some, and you can't have guys get hurt. You can't have Geis or Etling get hurt and have to miss a game or two.
And if they get hurt because there's nobody in front of them. Mike, I know it's a dead period, but what's happening on the recruiting front in terms of guys that are going to possibly be LSU Tigers?
Well, obviously August 1st, all the official offers go out, so you saw all the guys nationally, even the guys who've been committed for a year or two, retweeting their official offers from LSU and others. But those guys are like LSU. They turn their attention towards their own high school football teams and football camps, so it's really recruiting for the month of August. This is when a lot of guys, like rivals, regional and national analysts, would take their vacations.
Mike,
and then they'll get back for the end of August, Labor Day, that first football weekend, and then it all starts.
There you go.
Mike, Justin Jefferson, younger brother of Jordan and Ricky Jefferson, lightly recruited receiver out of Destrehan, has been added to the fall camp roster, I guess, when the lineman went back to West Virginia or Virginia, wherever he was from. Do you remember anything on Justin Jefferson, who's now part of the wide receiver corps?
Just that, had a nice, decent highlight tape. Just kind of knew that. I know he had gotten his academics in order. Someone asked in the chat, who did he have offers from, and he had offers from some state schools. Look, I don't think that they were obligated to do anything they didn't want to do. So, look, you never know with some of these guys. They might not have offers from everybody in the country, but next thing you know, they turn into something. So, look, they need bodies. They need wide receivers. I mean, there's a reason why Ed Orgeron's talking about Race McMath. There's a reason why he's talking about the transfer from Texas Tech, who can't even play this year because he has to sit out a season.
Is that why Stevens?
That's why Stevens has been moved to wide receiver.
Yeah.
Is because D. Anderson, we're still talking about him needing to mature. Drake Davis, still not, a 5-star out of high school. Still, you're not hearing the things that you would want to hear. And, of course, Stephon Sullivan.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, it rolls on. Before you get out of here, tell everybody what's happening at TigerBait.com. I mean, football is on us, albeit no games yet, but tell them what they're going to get and why they should.
We've got an all-day chat. We've got a lot of feature stories on the LSU football program. We're covering it from every angle that we can with the access we're given. But we got a lot of special things. But our all-day chat is a biggie, plus our recruiting coverage. And if you email me at tigerbaitcom@gmail.com, I'll send you a link in a promo code to give you 30 days free.
There you go. Mike Scarborough, tigerbait.com. Mike, we'll visit with you again next week.
Great. Talk then. Thanks.
Take care, buddy.
All right. Does a great job. A lot of people I know.
Didn't paint a rosy picture there.
No, well, Mike's a realist. I mean, I've followed Mike for years and years.
Look, and Orgeron said, we've got quality, we just don't have quantity on the offensive line. And he said that before Tehama was indefinitely suspended.
I think you need both.
I agree.
You need both.
I agree.
Because that practice, that quantity helps make the quality better. Did I say that right? Yeah.
Yes, you did.
So, I mean, you look at championship teams, we can go back for decades, they had depth. They had, remember that one year Florida State had like 4 backup guys go in the first 5 rounds of the draft. They weren't even starters. One of them, I don't think ever started a game. So you gotta, and they were winning national championships and finishing in the top 3. I'm talking about back in the 90s. But you gotta have depth. You gotta have quantity and quality. And right now, again, I'm being repetitive, but what was a question mark before fall camp started, offensive line, is a bigger question mark now.
They've got 11. That's plenty if that 11 is good and can work together. So
no injuries.
Yeah, I mean that's plenty of players. You're not going to use that many during a game anyway. But if you can find a backup for each position, that's 10. We'll see.
As good as Danny Etlin will or hopes to be if he's 100%, we know Darius Geis led the conference in rushing, averaged over 7 yards a carry last year. None of that will happen if that line is not tip-top in front of him.
And remember, they did that with no ingenuity, no creativity, and with 8 people staring at Leonard Fournette every time he was in the backfield. We know you're coming. Here we go. At least with Canada, there'll be some stuff, and they'll have 3 and 4 wide receivers and spread it out a little bit. So maybe Geis just needs a little bit to be able to go.
Following your observation there, maybe the line doesn't have to be great, but they still got to be good.
They got to be good.
Maybe not great, okay, but they're still going to have to.
You know when they have to be really good?
Fourth and one, third and 1.
Third and 8.
Or 3rd and 8 when they got
to pass it.
Or 3rd and 1 and you got to have the first down to keep the clock going.
That's right.
I mean, that's when they got to be great. You don't have to be great all 80 snaps, right? You got to
be nice.
Be great in those 15 snaps that could be the difference in the game,
That's
right?
That's right.
Hey, Jordy, don't forget radio station WUBR. Great mixture of local and national programming, and you're on all over the place now. You've grown since we chatted about this. Lately.
So here on 9:10 a.m. and then on 103.7 The Game in Acadiana and Sports 1280 in New Orleans. Those two, Lafayette and New Orleans, from 2 to 4 p.m. each and every day, Monday through Friday. So we're growing.
And, of course, the TuneIn app as well as our own app, WUBR AM 910. Take us with you where you go, because we will, for the 11th year, have the Pelican Sports post-game show immediately following LSU games beginning on September 2.
Oh, what time is that going to be on?
Oh, probably about midnight,
there
maybe after the star of the show. There's 2 stars of the show.
Marty? No, Marty's going to be asleep. Marty's asleep now, but he's going to be really asleep when that thing
Buddy Sanji's the star of the show, but most importantly, it's the callers and the text messages.
The people.
Right after the game, radio and TV, smartphones,
you got a delay
internet,
system on those?
Tablets. We've been doing it for 11 years. It's good, but we want your feedback right away. We'll get reports from the stadium. We'll have all the stats to break that down as well. That's immediately following all LSU games, starting with Brigham Young a little bit late. And by the way, they can play after midnight.
That's right.
That's been clarified.
That's right.
So we'll have that for you. We'll certainly let you know more about it as we get
I'll
closer.
never see the end of that game.
Now that football's here, we want you to know for the 11th year, the Pelican Sports post-game show, your phone calls, your text messages, 90-minute program, radio and TV. TV will repeat on Sunday mornings at 9 in case you miss it on Saturday night. You'll be able to find out what everybody had to say.
Honestly, more calls after a win or after a loss?
Loss, not even close. Oh, that was one time. We had like over 200 text messages after the Auburn last year.
Oh my gosh!
And phone calls, we could have took them a lot longer than we did. I don't remember the number.
Isn't that just amazing?
Well, if they win 40-0 against Chattanooga, I'd be like, Buddy, what else you want to talk about?
That's right.
You know?
Nobody calls.
But Buddy does good, and he loves doing it.
Chattanooga choo-choos, right?
Yeah, how about that, huh?
I'm all for Nick Saban. No more of these little cupcake games. Let's play all Power 5 conference games.
We're going to talk about that next week.
I love it. Nick, you the man. I don't want to see Chattanooga. I don't want to see Troy.
Syracuse.
I don't want to see that. I could care less.
Hey, it takes a lot of people to put this Pelican broadcasting crew. They put together this Tigers Roar show. But most importantly, we thank you for watching. Catch the original, catch a replay, catch it on YouTube. On behalf of Jordy Hulberg, I'm Tommy Chrysant. Thanks to Ken Trahan, Mike Scarborough. You've been watching Tigers Roar.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy, and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair. Come to my summer blowout sale starting June 15th. Half off sale items. Everything must go. Hope to see you there.
My name's Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.